Hello viewers, I'm your host Shivangi Mishra with another episode of South Asia Focus. Let's begin the show. In a major turn of events, the Maldives, an Indian Ocean country, recently witnessed a seismic political shift. Mohammad Muizzu's victory over President Ibrahim Solih in a closely contested election comes as what political experts believe could be the beginning of an undesirable geopolitical discourse in the region. Muizzu is apparently pro-China. This outcome holds the potential to reshape not only the destiny of the Maldives but also the geopolitical landscape of the entire Indian subcontinent, with far-reaching implications for both India and China.
In a seismic political shift that surprised everybody across the Indian Ocean archipelago, the Maldives recently witnessed a dramatic change in its leadership. Opposition candidate Mohammad Muizzu emerged triumphant in the presidential election, dethroning President Ibrahim Solih. But the implications of this political upheaval extend far beyond the sun-soaked beaches and luxurious resorts that adorn this tropical paradise. The Maldives Election Commission announced that Muizzu had garnered over 50% votes in a fiercely contested election, while President Solih had to settle for near 46. A remarkable 85% of eligible voters in this island nation, renowned for its breathtaking beauty, turned out in droves to cast their ballots at over 586 polling stations spread across 187 islands. The outcome of this election reverberates not only within the confines of the Maldives but sends ripples of uncertainty and anticipation throughout the entire Indian subcontinent. President Solih, during his tenure, had championed an India-first policy, fostering a strong partnership with India, much to the chagrin of neighboring China. The coalition that rallied behind Muizzu's campaign had previously shown a proclivity for cozying up to China, endorsing Chinese loans and investment projects.
Under President Yamin, China had managed to get some important geostrategic concessions, like the building of an ocean observatory, which was actually supposed to map water displacement for submarines, and acquisition of some 16 strategically located islands, along with important strategic projects in the Maldives.
This raises a serious question. Will the Maldives, once a steadfast ally of India, now pivot towards a more China-centric foreign policy? India, which has steadfastly upheld the rule-based order and endeavored to maintain its influence in the Indian Ocean, now finds itself facing a new and unpredictable landscape in its immediate neighborhood.
India needs to adopt a cautious and wait-and-watch approach. Even though President Muizzu may have won on a pro-Chinese flank, or rather an India-out flank, Maldives has strong ties with India, which is an immediate neighbor. India should not abruptly shut the door on Maldives after investing millions in the country. Presently, Maldives also cannot overlook India, its largest and its most reliable partner. It is therefore very necessary that both sides exercise political maturity.
The winds of change in the Maldives may have potential to undo years of progress in Indo-Maldivian relations, carefully nurtured under the Solih regime. It also raises concern about the growing influence of China in India's backyard and expansionist China that has cast a shadow over Indo-Pacific region. The stage is set for President-elect Mohammad Muizzu to steer the Maldives towards uncharted waters as he carries with him the expectations and apprehensions of an entire region. Will he reaffirm the Maldives' commitment to India, or will the island nation chart a new course that aligns more closely with China's interests? The world watches and waits, keenly aware of the implications of this historic election for the balance of power in the Indian Ocean and beyond.
Moving on. In a distressing development, Pakistan's Sindhi community is facing unprecedented discrimination and brutality in Pakistan, with recent events in Sindh province drawing international condemnation. A joint operation led to the killing of 8 civilians in the country. The World Sindhi Congress has condemned Pakistani actions as fascism and ethnic cleansing, urging global intervention. Meanwhile, resilient Sindhis who have endured decades of discrimination and atrocities refuse to remain silent and demand recognition, equality and justice in the face of ongoing injustice. In a distressing turn of events, the Sindhi community in Pakistan has yet again found itself in the crosshairs of discrimination and brutality. Recent news reports highlight the disturbing reality that Sindhis are often treated as second-class citizens, denied their rights and subjected to grave mistreatment within the country. The incident that has sparked outrage and condemnation occurred in Mari village, located in Sindh province of Pakistan. In a joint operation conducted by law enforcement agencies, 8 civilians, including both men and women, tragically lost their lives. What was initially portrayed as an operation targeting a suspected terrorist took a harrowing turn when villagers fiercely resisted the intrusion, leading to a deadly clash. Contrary to the official narrative, local residents paint a different picture. They claim that the law enforcement agencies sought to raid the home of an elderly political worker named Rajab Jalbani, triggering the violent confrontation that ensued. The conflicting accounts of the incident have raised serious questions about the actions of the authorities and their treatment of the Sindhi population.
पाकिस्तानी एजेंसीज़ ने डिक्वेट्स को हायर किया है और ये जो डिक्वेट्स हैं ये स्टेट स्पॉन्सर्ड डिक्वेट्स हैं जो सिंध के जंगलों में उन्होंने छोड़े हुए हैं। वहाँ पर कोई ऑपरेशन नहीं कर रहे हैं, उनको कोई गिरफ्तार करने वाला नहीं है, उनको भी कंप्लीट इम्यूनिटी है, जैसे कि पाकिस्तानी एजेंसीज़ के लोग जो हैं डिसअपियर कर लेते हैं। तो इनकी जो पॉलिसी है वो डे 1 से यही है कि सिंधियों को सिंध में अक़लियत में कन्वर्ट किया जाए और ये पॉलिसी अभी तक इनकी जारी है। उसमें सिंधी हिंदूज़ को जो हैं वो ख़ास टारगेट बना रहे हैं, जिसके ख़िलाफ़ सिंधी कम्युनिटी ने, सिंधी एज ए नेशन ने, पॉलिटिकल पार्टी, सिविल सोसाइटी ने बहुत सारा एहतजाज किया, धरने किए। अभी रिसेंटली 2 हफ्ता पहले सिंध के 17 शहरों में बड़े बड़े एहतजाज हुए, क्योंकि ये जो स्टेट पॉलिसी है ये हमारे ख़िलाफ़ है, हमारे नेशनहुड के ख़िलाफ़ है, हमारे कल्चर के ख़िलाफ़ है, हमारी लैंग्वेज के ख़िलाफ़ है।
The World Sindhi Congress, a prominent human rights organization, has unequivocally condemned the actions of the law enforcers in Mari village. Labeling it an act of fascism and ethnic cleansing, targeting Sindhi people, the WSC has taken to the streets of London in protest. Their message is clear. The international community must step in and address the grave human rights violations being perpetrated against Sindhis in Pakistan. In a powerful plea, the WSC has called upon the Sindhi nation, political parties in Pakistan and global human rights organizations to raise their voices against the barbarism on the world stage. The urgency of the situation demands international attention and intervention. Amidst these troubling developments, a protest has also been held on the sidelines of the United Nations Human Rights Council session. Members of the Sindhi community have passionately urged the international community to intervene, shedding light on the deteriorating human rights situation faced by Sindhis in Pakistan.
They are abducting Sindhi people in general to create a destabilization, but particularly focusing on Sindhi Hindus. He hid what we call Mukhi in Sindh of the Hindu community in Kashmir, where there's a very large population of Sindhi Hindus. He was abducted. He's 72 years old. Then they released his video, not only this, but other abductees, they torture them, they cry, they beg, and they ask their families to give them money. So they are creating the pressure by all means that Sindhi Hindus should leave. And they continue. We cry here, nothing is happening.
The plight of Sindhis being treated as disposable citizens in Pakistan is a long-standing issue that cannot be ignored. This recurring narrative of discrimination, marginalization and violence against Sindhi people has deep roots in the country's history. Their cultural identity, language and heritage have been suppressed and their voices have been stifled for far too long. The events in Mari village serves as a stark reminder that Sindhis continue to be subjected to injustice. However, these incidents have also ignited a spark of resistance within the Sindhi community. They are no longer willing to suffer in silence. They demand recognition, equality and justice. Moving on, Bangladesh is facing a dire and escalating dengue outbreak, marking its most devastating encounter with the mosquito-borne disease in history. With over 1,000 reported deaths and a staggering 200,000 plus confirmed cases since the beginning of this year, the nation is in the throes of a medical crisis. We have a report. The figures are grim. Bangladesh Directorate General of Health Services released alarming statistics on October 1st, indicating a dire situation with a death toll of 1,006, nearly 4 times higher than the last year's 281 dengue-related fatalities. To put into perspective, the scale of this outbreak is overwhelming. Families are grappling with the anguish of seeing their loved ones fall ill within a matter of hours. In a heart-wrenching account, Sanwar Hussain, a father of a dengue patient, shares his story.
সেটা তো বলতে পারি না সকালবেলা ভালো মানুষ শুয়ে রয়েছে রাত্রে বিয়ান উঠে চোখ মুখ গরম হয়ে গেছে জ্বর উঠছে পরে এসে পরে নিয়ে এলাম এই জায়গা এনে চেক আপের পরে বেরিয়ে ডেঙ্গু হয়েছে
Bangladesh's medical infrastructure faces significant challenges in dealing with a crisis of this magnitude. The outbreak has placed immense pressure on the country's healthcare system, which, like many others around the world, has finite resources and capacities. Hospitals are overwhelmed and medical professionals are working tirelessly to provide care for the surging number of dengue patients. The crisis is not only confined to the capital city Dhaka, as rural regions grapple with the rising cases. The shift has prompted concerns among hospital administrators.
ঢাকার রোগী কমলেও ঢাকার বাইরের অন্যান্য অঞ্চল থেকে রোগীর সংখ্যা ক্রমাগত বেড়ে যাচ্ছে। যেমন আজকের পরিসংখ্যান যদি আপনাকে দেই, আজকে আমার 54 জন নতুন রোগী ভর্তি হয়েছে গত 24 ঘন্টায়, যেখানে 21 জন রোগী আসছেন যারা ঢাকার বাইরের অন্যান্য জেলা থেকে। এটি একটি উদ্বেগের বিষয়।
Medical experts are expressing deep concern over the overwhelming nature of this crisis, as the sheer scale of the dengue outbreak strains the capabilities of healthcare systems and underscores the need for swift and coordinated action.
In Bangladesh, all over the Bangladesh, in 64 districts at that moment we have dengue. But in the previous year, we don't have dengue in all over the 64 districts. From 2000 to 2018, dengue is only happen in Dhaka city, but in 2019 it is transferred into the different cities. In 2023, it is transferred in the rural areas also.
Dengue, a mosquito-borne disease, has no specific vaccine or treatment, making containment a formidable challenge. The monsoon season, lasting from June to September, creates ideal breeding grounds for the Aedes aegypti mosquito, which serves as the primary vector for the virus. As Bangladesh grappled with this unprecedented dengue outbreak, the healthcare system is stretched to the limits. Many say crises like this underscore the urgent need for global collaboration and resources to combat mosquito-borne diseases. In the face of adversity, however, the resilience of the Bangladeshi people shines through as they unite to confront the deadliest dengue outbreak in their nation's history. Time now for Asia This Week, the stories from across the continent.
Thousands of Israelis took to the streets of Tel Aviv on the first day of the Jewish Sukkot holiday to voice their protest against the planned judicial overhaul by the governing coalition. Protesters were carrying Israeli flags and a huge banner which read in Hebrew, "You shall not divide us." Earlier this year, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's far-right coalition presented plans to strip the court of much of its powers with a package of legislation triggering unprecedented weekly nationwide protests. Due to overwhelming public pressure, the government passed only one part of the plan with far-right. The Metropolitan Police Detective Department said on its Facebook page that a 14-year-old suspected gunman had been arrested and was being questioned. Farmers to clear land for plantations, authorities say putting out fires this year has been harder.
Diverse tribal cultures treasures the rich heritage of eastern state of Odisha. Among its ancient tribes, the Sora stand out for their unique Sora paintings. In an initiative, the Odisha government organized a camp to celebrate and promote this art form. 50 skilled Sora artists passionately joined the workshop, adorning their own homes with the vibrant Sora paintings, preserving their cultural legacy for generations to come.
The state of Odisha has a century-old tradition of painting rock shelters of the temples and mutts in the region. The murals adorning the walls and ceilings of prehistoric temples are testimonies to the rich art and cultural legacy the state has beholden for decades. The Sora art is one such tribal art form that aptly depicts the religious beliefs of different religious communities residing in the state. To promote this prehistoric art form, the Odisha Lalit Kala Academy, in association with the Odia Language, Literature and Cultural Department, organized a Sora mural painting camp in the Regenthil village of Raigad district.
पहले मैं 2-4 घर में था, लेकिन आजकल हर एक घर में हम लोग कर रहे हैं कि खुद में ये मेरा घर है और मेरा ये मैंने खुद किया हूँ. तो सोरा पेंटिंग लोप होने जा रहा था, अभी देश विदेश में फैला जा रहा है ताकि उड़ीसा ललित एकेडमी का संस्कृति के तरफ से हम लोग जो ये पेंटिंग करवा रहे हैं, हम लोग बहुत खुश हैं कि मेरा परिवार, मेरा गांव और मेरा माँ जी पिताजी सब हम लोग बहुत खुश हैं.
Many Sora artists also joined the Sora mural painting camp to promote and glorify Sora tribal artwork in front of their own houses in the village. The art is a kind of respect and gratitude the tribals offer to their deities and forefathers.
ये लांजिया सोरा पेंटिंग को लेके जो हमारा ट्राइबल आर्ट फॉर्म है उसी को लेकर ये कैंप है कि यहाँ पर अराउंड 50 जो घर है, हर घर की दरवाज़ा पे वो खुद उनका फैमिली पेंटिंग कर रहे हैं और उनका दरवाजे को पूरा उनकी जो आर्ट फॉर्म है, आर्ट फॉर्म से वो पूरा भर रहे हैं. आप देख सकते हैं कि पूरा इंटा गांव में ये पेंटिंग किया गया है, जिसे हमारा उड़ीसा ललित कला अकादमी की तरफ से और संस्कृति विभाग के सहयोग से ये पहले बार ऐसे कैंप हो रहा है.
The Sora paintings are known for their intricate geometric patterns and symbols inspired by nature. For the last many years, art has been fading into oblivion due to modernization and changing lifestyles. The mural project by Odisha Lalit Kala Academy is an effort to protect this incredible cultural heritage.
इतना अच्छा लग रहा हूँ मैं कि उड़ीसा ललित कला एकेडमी संस्कृत विभाग से हमारे गांव में 50 आर्टिस्ट लोग लेके हम लोग घर घर दीवार के अंदर बनाने के लिए हमको सुजग मिला हुआ है, उसी की तरफ से हमें बहुत खुशी है.
Continuing their efforts to preserve Sora paintings, artists of the Lanjia Sora community have transformed Regenthal village into a living art gallery. These paintings depict agriculture, hunting, harvesting, hills, mountains, marriage, dance, worship, and all aspects of Mother Nature. The president of the academy and eminent sand artist Sudarshan Patnaik felicitated the artist. The academy will also launch a special training center in the village soon so that Sora art could reach the global stage in the near future.
India is a place where many different tribes have their own special cultures, making India a very diverse country. With that, we come to the end of this week's episode. See you next week. Goodbye and take care.